Welcome, creators, to The Disruptors, Illuminate Your Frequency podcast. It's in the disruption of the luminescence that matter is created. We're going back old school today. Let me pull that down a little bit. Going back to where it all started, back to just audio. I know for the last few weeks it's been video format, and that has allowed me to be able to put this podcast onto YouTube. But I really wanted to talk about the essence of a podcast and the way that we connect and attract to different voices and different ideas. And what a better way to do that than to bring it back straight to the microphone and the way that I originally started creating podcasts and what its intention actually was. What is a podcast anyway? We know that podcast is an audio format that we listen to. We listen to someone else speaking about a topic that we are interested in listening to. Maybe we are learning something new. Maybe we are hearing a collection of stories. Maybe we are watching a few people talk together. Maybe we're watching someone being interviewed. Maybe someone is reflecting on an experience that they had and someone is interviewing them. Either way, the reason that we listen to other podcasts is because we connect with the information that we are hearing. So what makes us connect? You think about if you started listening to a podcast of a topic you didn't enjoy, and you started listening to it, and someone said, listen to this podcast, it's really good, but they were talking about something that you had no interest in, and you started listening to it. Would you continue to listen to it? Probably not. It's the same as if you're watching a TV show or watching a movie. If it is not connecting with you, you are not going to continue watching. However, I will say there have been many times where just out of principle, you are halfway in a movie and it's, I commit, I'm not cutting. I'm not stopping in the middle of the movie. I want to see how it ends, even though this movie is so bad and I don't want to keep watching. We do commit to these things, but the more we get in tune with the things that we do like and the way that we appreciate our time and the way that we spend it, we will stop listening to things that don't appeal to us. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that conversation was bad or the way they were speaking was bad. It could be simply that the topic, the things they were talking about had no interest to you. Like, I know a lot of people get interested in those serial killer podcasts and things like that. Like, to me, sure, that's interesting, but I don't think I'd be listening to a podcast about it because it's not really my interest. But I get where people are interested in that type of information and they want to listen to a podcast like that. But the way that I look at things is not just on the surface level, not just, oh, I like talking about space, so I'm going to listen to a podcast on space. No, because maybe I don't want to. Maybe I prefer to read about it. Maybe I prefer to look things up as I'm finding more information about things, and I don't want to listen to a podcast every week, because even as someone who creates a podcast every week, regardless of the audience size, there is no podcast that I listen to every single week. And I don't know if I could commit to one either. And that's not to say that there aren't podcasts that are worthy of my listening. It's more of me being drawn to what information I want to hear. What I have found is the reason we connect to listening to things is going to depend on where we're at. We will connect to things based on something that is common. It could be an experience that we have had, so we have that commonality. It could be something where we are wanting to embody, to understand, to learn more right now. Or we could be listening to someone as a future goal of the way we want to embody ourselves, or the way that we want to create or have or experience that conversation in our future. As humans, we need that connection. We need something to back up our thoughts. It is super difficult for us to experience things, to learn things, or to strive for things if we don't have something where we can relate it or connect it together with someone else. And I think that's just part of our human conditioning. It's, okay, I went through this horrific event. Oh, here is someone else who went through this horrific event. Let me see how they felt. Let me see how they moved through it. Or maybe they are in a different place to you right now and you want to try and get to that place. So you will listen to how they did it, how they moved through it, how they were able to use that experience and put them into the place that you want to be, but you aren't there yet. Because once you have that connection of someone understanding who you are, it's going to be a lot easier for you to listen to what they are saying. And it doesn't have to be the same experience. It's in the experience, it's in the emotion, it's in the way that we connect. And a lot of stories that we find empathy in is because as humans, we have that nature where we can see where someone has suffered or someone has experienced something that may not be a wonderful experience. So we can connect to that because we can search within our data bank of memories or feelings or emotions and go, I know what that feels like. Even when the story may be totally different, we know what sadness feels like. We know what pain can feel like. And it doesn't just have to be all these tragical experiences. It can be powerful experiences. It can be moments of victory or success or completion. We can search ourselves for those as well. We can search ourselves for those emotions and we can connect to those things as well. And when we're learning new information, when people are sharing their knowledge or the way that they're interpreting things that they have learned, we can listen to their opinion or their story or their knowledge, and we may find only pieces resonate with us, and then there's pieces that don't resonate with us. That won't always mean that we stop listening to that person. There may just be pieces that are big enough that override those other pieces that don't resonate. But I can tell you, as someone who finds words super difficult, as I experience things on a deeper and deeper level, it becomes more apparent to me how every single piece of this is part of our journey. Before, I probably would have said this is our spiritual journey, this is our way towards our awakening or our new earth. But honestly, I just think it's our journey to self-mastery in the way that we utilize the voices around us to help us move through whatever it is we're moving through and where we need to go next. Because if we are in a place where maybe we are feeling sad and we are feeling lonely, but we do want to connect with someone who has experienced that, we will find people who have done that and who are speaking about it, so we can connect and we can find that resonance between our voices. If we are in a place where we are looking for our own growth and we are looking for new knowledge and we're looking for new ways through things, we will find people who are talking about that. If we want to be entertained by a story or something that just sparks that joyous curiosity and wonder within ourselves, we will find someone doing that. We could have all of those things and they can all still be part of us at the same time. Being in a space where you are not listening to other people can be quite isolating, and as these humans living in this existence, we believe that community is a very strong point of who we are, that we should be able to and should allow the connection of ourselves with others in order to share common interests and common experiences and future goals and ideas, and allow it to help us move forward within our lives. But sometimes some of those voices can be a distraction from the things that we are truly meant to do. We could very easily be on a certain path and we'll hear someone talking about something else and we will get distracted and go down a different path. And then once we're sort of finished completing that, we're like, oh, whoops, what happened there? And not that any of it is wrong. To me, the way that I see this and the way that I'm talking about our connection to different things at different times, this is how I see our codes. And I talk about our luminescent codes. And the more I speak of it, the more of it becomes a solidity in my beliefs that I'm speaking about right now. Because as energetic beings, as part of this existence that no one really knows what it really is, I truly think that the pieces that make us up, these energetic codes, connect to different things at different times based on where we're at and what we could be doing next. There's no have-tos, there's no should-dos, it's what we choose to do. So right now, I could connect to different paths. I could go down here and do that, or I could go down this path and do that. But it's in the allowing of what is coming through for us to make that choice. Because those codes that we have that connect to other voices and other people, that's the magnetism that drives us along our path. When we listen to other people, I find the information that they share and the way that we connect is just a way for us to help us move through whatever it is we're moving through, whatever it is we're working on. Because I have listened to a lot of people. I no longer just connect to one idea or one thought about anything, and I will be open and listen to the many ideas and stories and experiences out there, and not have that complete attachment with only being able to believe in one thing. And I think that's something that we can all strive for, because when we get to that place where we don't align with just one idea, we can choose where we want to feel into, where we want to experience. I don't think this is for everyone though, because if we did, we'd all be this group of people not voicing our opinions. And we know there's a lot of big voices out there who stand 100% in their beliefs and fully try and enforce it and embark and share it with other people in the hope that other people will come along and join them in those stories. But there is the ones like us, the ones who will listen with open ears without making a commitment to any of those. Yes, it can be a little bit difficult in trying to find your way through, because it's so much easier when you are so adamant in an idea, in a particular thought pattern, in a topic, that you can stand in that and go, no, this is the way that this works, or this is the way that I feel, and this is the only way through, and this is the only possible way that we can move through this. That still gets you to do things. That still moves you from one place to the next. I think it's the balance of having different people like that in the way that they connect to different things that allows us to still be all part of this human collective experience where we are all feeling and tuning into different things at different times. But it's interesting that in my world, I see a lot of people who are along this path. And as you know, the things that you believe in, the things that you believe are part of your reality, that's what you see around you. So you see more people like yourself. So sitting in this open awareness of endless possibilities can just really give you the space to allow anything to happen without judgment, without step A to step B outcome. Yes, you can still use that as part of your awareness, but you can still be open to allow these other ideas and these other thoughts and these new pieces of information to help you get there. It's a beautiful little balance between it all. And I don't believe that there's going to be one particular way that's going to work for you, because I know that we are still always going to connect with the things we need to at the right time. The more we tune into our existence, the more we allow our codes to speak, the more that we release those thoughts and beliefs that aren't actually serving us, and the ones that are holding us back or keeping us down, we get to shine more. We get to be more illuminated with our codes, and we get to connect with different people and different experiences, and we will listen to different things and we will connect on different levels. And it's just all part of us constantly changing and constantly growing. You look around us, we would not be where we are right now if people weren't striving forward, if people weren't listening to new ideas. We will be stuck in the same place. And I know I say this in every podcast, but we're constantly expanding and changing and growing and reproducing. We cannot do anything but continually grow and deepen, even if it is still the same, even if that's a part of us that we want to keep. There are other parts of us that are going to change. There are other parts of us that are going to connect to different things. And there's going to be new voices that we connect to. And sometimes that voice is just going to give us that little push down the slippery slide to get us to where our next step is. And with the billions of people in this world, there are many, many voices out there. And it's up to us to find the ones that really connect with who we are right now. So don't be afraid of making new connections and being open to new ideas, because you never know what you might find. Okay, guys, who knows what I'll be doing next week? Could be an audio, could be a video. Either way, I'll be here. Man, I really need to work on my end statement. You'd think after a year that I'd have a better way to sign off on my podcast, but I don't. And there it is. And that's it for another epic dose of Disruptors Illuminate Your Frequency podcast.